All praises unto our power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Wa Rekakwadash. Peace, blessings, much respect to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, on down to the rest of the elders who rule well within Israel. Salutations to the hopeful elect throughout the four corners of this whole entire earth, no matter where, whom they may be, or what they may look like, pushing out this purified truth to the rest of the church who believe as well. You men who may not be teachers or prophets, you women, sons and daughters as well. The water to Yahweh Shai, because without him enduring and going to that cross for the nation of Israel and the nation of Israel alone, none of this would even be possible whatsoever. I feel in my spirit that since we're drawing closer to the day, that we have to be in the time of forgiving one another. Whatever odds brethren may have against each other, if it's really not a life or death situation, it should be forgiven. Many offenses have come from brethren, okay? Maybe I've offended some of the brethren and nobody's ran it through me. But seeing that we're in the day of judgment, we want to make sure that we are right with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And if we want the Lord to be merciful and gracious unto us, we have to show that same type of character towards our brethren, whom are his servants. Imagine having multiple wives, and certain of your wives are giving other wives a hard time for no reason, just out of jealousy and bitterness. You are going to get on those women. You are going to correct those women. And if they don't get it right, you're going to cut them off with a bill of divorce. Okay? So us being the Lord's spiritual woman, we want to make sure that the Lord's wives, so to speak, get along. Because what binds us, although there are going to be odds, there's going to be character clashes. There's going to be times where you may not agree with how something's being said. But ultimately, the elect are not determined off of whether or not me, you, they, them like or dislike somebody. So we have to be real careful when we're, rebuking certain individuals without a cause, because if that's a man of the Lord, you may have to pay for that. So now is the time that we forgive one another. And when I say forgive one another, if a man did you faultly, like let's say a man's out here, he's just running your name in the dirt, he's slandering you, okay? I'm not speaking of things like that, okay? That's between those two men. I'm speaking of a man who may be teaching either with you or teaching the same doctrine as you. Maybe he came to your house, right? When he came to your house, he left the toilet seat up and forgot to flush the toilet. And ever since that day, you've been irritated with this man. And then on top of that, you have to keep telling him not to do this or not to do that, but he just can't seem to get it together. Well, he's not really breaking the law of the scripture, although he may be getting under your skin. Forgive that brother, man. Maybe you just need to stop inviting him over to your house. Just for an example, maybe you just need to link up in other places. Or let's say a brother, he told you he was going to come pick you up because you needed a ride for work. And you told him this a couple days in advance. Then the day comes, he forgets to come pick you up. Now you're late for work. And he's like, oh, my bad, brother. But in your mind, it's like, nigga, you knew I had to go to work. I told you 2 days in advance. Forgive that man. Okay? Now, seeing that we want mercy from the Lord, that's how we have to be towards each other. Okay? Daniel's chapter 9 and verse 9. To the Lord our power belong mercies and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against him. So as rebellious as we are, the Lord is still opening up his hands to us. He's still willing to forgive us. So as rebellious as brothers may be towards each other in certain ways, right? We still have to have the mind to forgive them. because we constantly fall short. We constantly offend one another. Hell, we offend ourselves sometimes. We all need a line of mercy. Okay? All of us do. To the Lord our power belong mercies and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against him. So we are the ones that messed up. We rebelled against him. But guess what? He's still going to show mercy and forgiveness unto his remnant, his elect. And his elect are going to have the same mentality. Okay? Let's go to the book of Psalms 32 and verse 2. Blessed is the man unto whom the Lord imputeth not iniquity, and in whose spirit there is no guile. So in order for you to be a man looked at as such by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, you have to have mercy and forgiveness in your heart as well towards other men. Many times Yahweh Shai rebuked his disciples. The disciples didn't say, "Who you talking to, nigga? How dare you speak to me like that?" The disciples, when James and John asked to sit at the right and on the left of Yahweh Shai, yeah, some of the other disciples kind of got bothered by it, but didn't nobody, want to throw hands, and all of a sudden one disciple's looking to slay another. Take away what Judas did, which was set up in the spirit. They didn't look at James and John and say, I'm going to kill these niggas. How dare these niggas say that? How dare them ask the Lord that question? Yeah, they might have got grievous in their heart, but that grievousness didn't turn to bitterness toward their towards their brethren. Okay? So we want to be perfect in the sight of the Lord. We don't want to be found full of iniquity. Okay? Blessed is the man unto whom the Lord imputeth not iniquity, and in whose spirit there is no guile. Verse 10. Many sorrows shall be to the wicked, but he that trusteth in the Lord, mercy shall compass him about. So the Lord is going to be merciful unto them who trust in him. Remember, to the Lord belongs mercy and forgiveness. So if you trust in the Lord, you'll have mercy and forgiveness. Now, not only do you have to trust in the Lord, you have to share the same mentality as the Lord too. Okay? Just as the Lord is merciful and forgiving, we have to be the same way towards our brothers, man. I'm talking about the real brothers, not these frauds and these phonies out here. The Lord is going to kill all these phonies, man. You got men in Israel slandering other men's names. You got men in Israel committing adultery. I'm not talking about men like that. Okay? Through the Spirit, you know what I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 28 and verse 2. Forgive thy neighbor the hurt that he hath done unto thee, so shall thy sins also be forgiven when thou prayest. See? So we want to be forgiven. But in order for us to be forgiven, we have to forgive our neighbor as well. Okay? One man beareth hatred against another, and doth he seek pardon from the Lord? So you have men in this truth who hate other men without cause. There's no reason for it. Do you really think the Lord is going to deliver someone like that? The answer is no. Okay? He showeth no mercy to a man which is like himself. And doth he ask forgiveness of his own sins? So you got men out here teaching, doing the work just like you. And for no reason at all, you're looking at him with an evil eye. You're creating things that aren't true. You're just making up things as you go, like a bitter woman in distress. The Lord is not going to forgive you because you're not forgiving your brother. Okay? Who is also his servant. He showeth no mercy to a man which is like himself. We are all in this for the same penny. We're in the same fight. We're hated by a lot of the same people. And you'll have men not forgiving another man because this is the third time in a row that he had to buy him, something to eat. Because every time he came around, he didn't have money. He getting tired of him. He's becoming a burden. And it is burdensome, you know, but remember, we are in this to be servants. Now, with that being said, also, don't let brothers take advantage of you. You know, brothers got to get they acts together too. We have to be men. But we are going to witness offenses from one another. A brother may say something that rubs you the wrong way. The brother may do something that rubs you the wrong way. You may feel like, oh, what he just said to me, hey, that's fighting words. And we all go through that. Now, if it's in the lines of, like I said, slander, adultery, you know, that's up to that man on what he feels towards that other man. Because if you in this truth and you're bearing false witness intentionally against another brother, you ain't no brother, because that's not something a brother would do. OK, imagine Peter making up lies on James. Imagine James making up lies on Thomas. And then Yahushua choosing them to be his disciples. No, he only chose one out of the 12, which was Judas, to be that snake. But he was also replaced with another, which made it 12 again. The Lord is not going to walk with men who are snakes and hate each other and show no mercy towards their own brethren who are in the same battle as them. That's like you taking your own arm, cutting it off because it offended the opposite arm. Or you biting into your flesh because your anger towards you making a mistake just angered you so much. Now you're biting into your flesh or cutting yourself like some psychopath. Well, your brother is just like you. And how you treat your brother, you're basically doing it to yourself. Because if you don't forgive your brother, the Lord won't forgive you. If I don't forgive you, the Lord won't forgive me. Now, again, there is conditions to that forgiveness. Love comes with conditions, and so does forgiveness. All right. So don't get it confused. Verse 5. If he that is but flesh nourish hatred, who will entreat for pardon of his sins? And you have a lot of men that are just full of hatred in their heart. I don't know where this comes from. I don't know if it's an issue that you had growing up, if you were bullied by your brothers growing. I don't know what it is with a lot of men, but a lot of men just really have hatred and jealousy in their heart. OK, for no real righteous reason. Remember the end and let enmity cease. Remember corruption and death, and abide in the commandments. Remember the commandments, and bear not malice to thy neighbor. Remember the covenant of the Most High, and wink at ignorance. Because remember, for quite a while, the Lord winked at our ignorance. We have to wink at ignorance as well. We can't just want to, every time a brother goes off, we just quick to just take it there. All right, brother, how many times I got to tell you, hey, man, let's just take it to the yard, man. Nah, the hell with that. We about to just throw hands. Fuck that. I'm tired of you pissing on my toilet seat, brother. I done told you 3 times this week. Nah, man, we can't be like that. Okay? Abstain from strife, and thou shalt diminish thy sins. For a furious man will kindle strife. A sinful man disquiet his friends, and maketh debate among them that be at peace. And that's what a lot of talebearers do. A lot of backbiters, men who slander and make up lies, who add false details intentionally to make someone else look bad. OK, so seeing that we're coming to the end, the Lord is shaking up the earth. Wow, so much is happening. We are literally at the end of our captivity. So seeing that we have to make sure that we have forgiveness in our hearts towards brethren, real brethren. OK, do not get it confused. Just because someone's wearing a garment and saying they're Israelites does not make them a brother. OK, being a brother comes with conditions. Love comes with conditions, and so does forgiveness. OK, this is all about the elect, man. The election of grace. Just like the Lord is forgiving, there's conditions on those that he's going to forgive. He's not forgiving everybody. So just as us, yeah, we have forgiveness in our heart, but that forgiveness goes towards the church. Those who are really sincere about this, just as ourselves. So I'm going to go on ahead and close it. All praises unto our power, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Wa Rakakwadash. Shalom.